Okay, so here we're looking at multiplying fractions. Now, when we multiply fractions, it's one of the easiest things that we can do with the fractions. All right, we simply are going to multiply the top two numbers together, multiply the numerators over the bottom two numbers, or denominators, multiplied together. Okay. However, normally what we do is we just jump straight in and tell you that, and we kind of give you a general thing where it looks something like that. I just tell you that it's A times C over B times D, right? And that leaves it very open to problems. You don't really understand what's going on. So we're going to try some examples. Before that, I'm going to try and convince you why it works. So what I want to do, first of all, is think about what 2 times 3 means. What does 2 multiplied by 3 actually means? Well, what it means is we're going to start with two things. Right, there are my two things. And I'm multiplying it by 3. So I want 3 lots of that 2. So there's 2 things there. There's 2 lots of 2 things. There's 3 lots of 2 things. And I get 6 out of my end answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thinking about this next example, I've got a half. So I need to start with half, first of all. So there's my shape. I want half of it. So let's ditch the half on the right. Then what I want is I want half of that. So I take the half I've got and I cut it in half and I can ditch that bit. How much of my shape am I actually left with? Well, here I'm left with 1/4. And if we followed our rule and what we said with our fractions, and we did. Nope, we're going to start with a half. Copy it right, Josh. Half times a half, we end up getting 1/4. And we can see just about through the squiggles there are 1, 2, 3, 4 bits there, but I'm only left with one of them. And so I've got 1 out of my 4 bits. Think about another one. Right? If we've got 1/3, okay, I'm going to start with the shape, doesn't really matter what it is, and I'm going to split it into 3 parts. And I want one of them, so I don't really want these two here at the end. I'm just going to deal with this first one at the left. And then what I want is I want 1/5 of it. So I take this shape, this bit that I'm left with here, and I split it into 5 bits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I only want one of them, so I don't want that one, or that one, or that one, or that one. How many bits are there in the shape altogether now? Well, I've tried to extend the line so that we can see, but now there are 15 bits there altogether, and I want only this one that's left. So I've actually got 1/15 left. And again, if we think about what the calculation was, it was 1/3 times 1/5. And if we follow the pattern, we can do the top thing times the top thing. 1 times 1 is 1, over 3 times 5 is 15. So it gives us the same answer, and hopefully we can see now why it starts to make a little bit of a difference. And for the following, I'm not going to draw the picture, but you're welcome to give it a wee go and make sure that you can have it tie in with what we're saying here. So, first one we've got is 1/4 multiplied by 3/2. All I'm going to do, again, top multiplied by top, so 1 times 3 is 3, over 4 times 2 is 8. So the first one, 3/8. The second one, we've got 4 over 5 multiplied by 2 over 3. Top times top, so I've got 4 times 2 is 8, over 5 times 3 is 15. And each time we get the answer, we should be looking, just like when we did our addition and subtraction, to see whether or not we can simplify the fraction down. And in neither of these cases can we do that. Third one, I've got 5 over 7 multiplied by 8 over 3. So top multiplied by top, 5 multiplied by 8 is 40, over 7 multiplied by 3 is 21. And again, that one feels like it should be able to simplify down, but it just can't quite. So we'll move on to the fourth one. Now, fourth one brings us on to an interesting bit. I've got 2/5 multiplied by 10 over 8. Now, what we can do before we multiply them together is we can check and see if our numbers can be simplified. And we can do that in the same direction as my multiply symbol goes. So I can take the ones that are essentially opposite each other. So I can connect up my 2 and my 8. Okay, and again, when we're working out which ones we can connect, our line should make a multiply symbol. So my 2 and the 8, well, the 2 and the 8 can both divide by 2. So when I divide 2 by 2, I get 1. If I divide 8 by 2, I get 4. Looking at 5 and 10, can I divide them both by anything? Well, they're both in the 5 times table, so I can divide them both by 5. So if I divide 5 by 5, I get 1. And if I divide 10 by 5, I get 2. And so what we can do now is we can carry out the multiplication, but using these new numbers in blue. What we've done is we've tried to simplify the fractions to make them a little bit nicer to deal with. So 1 times 2 is 2, over 1 times 4 is 4. And looking at my end answer, I can see that 2 over 4 simplifies down to give me 1/2. So that is my answer here.